is how Cheryl Reeve was very standoffish to Caitlin Clark's arrival, very dismissive to Caitlin Clark's arrival, very agenda-driven when it comes to selecting her for the national team. And I have to think Dawn Staley is in that book as well, and she knows a bomb is about to drop when it comes to what she had to say, when it comes to her part in the Team USA national team. We know what she said.
We have recently uncovered developments that could completely reshape the landscape of women's basketball. If anyone assumed the controversy surrounding the Olympic snub and the Caitlin Clark storyline had already reached its conclusion this summer, that assumption could not be more wrong. What is now surfacing from behind the scenes of USA basketball is far more than idle speculation. It signals a fundamental shift in direction. Long-standing institutional walls have finally been breached by the impact of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. What we are witnessing is a period of internal disruption, executive-level anxiety, and an overdue realization that repeating the same mistake, both practically and symbolically, is no longer an option. This is a moment that truly changes everything. It is not sensationalism or exaggerated hype. The evidence is rooted in on-court performance and off-court consequences. Today, we will break down what this all means. Caitlin Clark has forced a move that the very decision-makers who sidelined her never wanted to confront. We will explore the emerging blueprint being discussed, the leaked apprehensions from major sponsors, and the quiet strategic meetings reportedly taking place ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. This new framework does more than simply include Caitlin Clark. It places her at the center of the vision. A single player's refusal to quietly accept rejection is now causing the existing hierarchy to shake, leaving the old guard visibly unsettled. To understand why this shift is so startling, we must revisit the timeline. For months, USA basketball stood firm in its messaging. Seniority mattered. Players were expected to wait their turn. Experience was valued above popularity. Even as television ratings soared, officials maintained their stance. They believed public frustration would fade. Even after sold-out arenas and vocal fan backlash, there was confidence that Clark's momentum would slow once the WNBA season ended. Then came the so-called revenge game. We referenced it previously, but its aftermath deserves deeper attention. Caitlin Clark did more than win that matchup. By dismantling Cheryl Reeve's defensive scheme, she effectively ended the debate. The performance made decision-makers appear disconnected and outmatched. According to insiders, that game marked the breaking point. Shortly afterward, major broadcast partners, those responsible for setting the financial stakes of international competitions, began making urgent calls. The message was unmistakable. The product was being damaged, and significant revenue was being left behind. And when it comes to financial influence in today's sports world, few names carry more weight than Caitlin Clark. So what exactly is changing? Reports suggest a sweeping reevaluation of the player selection process is already underway for the cycle leading into the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. The existing committee structure is under scrutiny for allowing personal biases and lingering grudges to override emerging talent. In its place, officials are considering a more data-driven approach that prioritizes current impact over past reputation. This shift is a direct response to Clark's exclusion. There is a growing acknowledgement that hosting an Olympics in Los Angeles without the biggest star in the sport would make building a viable marketing strategy nearly impossible. Inside the organization, there is genuine concern that continued alienation could push Clark to walk away entirely. Imagine the fallout if, after the events of 2024, Caitlin Clark chose to skip the 2028 Olympics, focus on rest, or even host her own independent camp. The public relations damage would be catastrophic. As a result, the power dynamic has clearly shifted. USA basketball is now acting as though it needs Caitlin Clark far more than she needs them. Another crucial factor is player influence within the locker room. For years, veteran players controlled the culture and direction. That dominance is now being questioned. Younger stars like Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark are watching closely. They see how the face of the league has been treated, and a growing sentiment suggests that the old inner circle, often described as an exclusive club, can no longer operate unchecked. This latest revelation points to a future where Caitlin Clark is not merely part of the Olympic roster, but its centerpiece. Discussions now involve structuring the entire system around her vision, her passing ability, tempo, and spacing. This approach stands in stark contrast to the rigid, system-first philosophy long associated with Cheryl Reeve. It represents an admission that the problem was never the player, but the framework itself. More importantly, it signals recognition that traditional styles are becoming obsolete in the face of the transformation Caitlin Clark is driving forward. Leaked sources indicate that major sponsors like Gatorade, State Farm, and Nike have invested millions in Caitlin Clark. Do you really think they were content watching their most valuable asset relax on the sidelines during the Paris Games? Absolutely not. Rumors suggest that the pressure from these external stakeholders has reached a tipping point. They are demanding assurance that their investments will receive global recognition. It is likely this corporate influence prompted the major shift we're now witnessing. In the near future, brand considerations could outweigh coaches' personal preferences when selecting the Olympic roster. Purists will undoubtedly resist, claiming it undermines the sport's sanctity. Yet, professional sports are undeniably a business, and right now, Team Clark is thriving while traditional structures are struggling. This is simply the market correcting itself. Cheryl Reeve finds herself in a precarious position as a result. What role does a coach play when the organization pivots toward a Clark-centric future? Reeve, who has openly stated her disinterest in hype, now risks being left on the outside. Her coaching philosophy may gradually fade, overshadowed by the new reality. The writing is on the wall. If USA Basketball wants to embrace the future, it may have to let go of its past symbols. This evolution extends far beyond a roster spot. It signals a broader institutional change, demonstrating that Team USA and the WNBA are entering an era defined by star power, speed, and versatility. Caitlin Clark did not join this system under pressure. She forced the organization to confront its own shortcomings. Looking ahead to the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, the potential is unprecedented. The world could witness the most dominant, widely watched, and exhilarating women's basketball team in history. Picture a roster built to run with Clark, featuring athletic bigs who can finish lobs and sharpshooters in the corners. Fast break offenses could routinely score 120 points in a game. While executives are excited by this vision, others may be intimidated by the implications. The first step toward this reality is the philosophical shift we're seeing now. The slow, paint-focused approach is no longer viable. A new system must be constructed on the foundation that Clark has already redefined. However, questions remain. Is this shift genuine, or is it just damage control? Do decision-makers truly regret excluding her, or are they merely embarrassed by being exposed? Cynicism is understandable. USA Basketball prides itself on tradition and rarely admits mistakes. They may spin this as evolution or progress, but the truth is evident. This transformation has a name, Caitlin Clark, wearing her Indiana Fever jersey and commanding attention. The central question now is her response. Should she accept this olive branch? Should she lead a program that previously rejected her? If I were in her camp, I would insist on a public commitment, ensuring the team is built for success, not to placate veteran egos. Now is the moment for leverage. Clark holds moral authority, statistical dominance, and financial influence. In many ways, she has already won. From Paris onward, the rumors of restructuring and transformation serve as confirmation. Talent ultimately triumphs over politics, and fans' voices matter. Caitlin Clark has reshaped the WNBA, influenced the NCAA, and is now redefining Olympic basketball. The 2024 snub will be remembered not as a failure, but as the spark that ignited this essential revolution. The Olympic landscape will never be the same. The Queen has remained in her rightful place. Now, we want to hear your thoughts. Will USA Basketball adapt successfully? Does Cheryl Reeve remain a credible figure? Should Caitlin demand a public apology before joining Team USA? Comment below and share your predictions. This story is evolving rapidly, and we will track every development. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video to stay updated in real time before mainstream media sanitizes the truth. The transfer of power is happening before our eyes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.